And joining us tonight for an exclusive interview is Elizabeth Graddy, the attorney for Larry English, who owns the home construction site where the video was filmed. Take a look. This is believed to be Ahmad just moments before he was fatally shot, allegedly by the McMichaels. Now, Ms. Graddy, I want to bring in that you wrote that the homeowners, the English family, were, quote, not part of what the McMichaels did. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Well, the English's family's concern is that this video is somehow going to be used in some sort of false narrative in a way that would perhaps set up a justification for what the McMichaels did, which is something that the McMichaels took it upon themselves to do. My clients did not know the McMichaels. This video could not have been the justification for anything that the McMichaels did, because no one even saw this video until after Mr. Arbery was dead, until after he had been killed by the McMichaels. That's when my client first saw the video, and shortly thereafter found out Mr. Arbery had been killed. And he did not recognize the photos he saw of Mr. Arbery subsequent to the death as being the same person. He did not even know it was the same person until the Arbery said that they believed it was their son in the house that day, based on the video.
And how did Larry English find out about this video and that the shooting that happened moments later? What was his reaction?
He found out about the video because he had a camera set up in there. It was a construction site, so he just needed a camera just to make sure things were okay. There had been a few occasions in the prior few months, starting in about October, when someone had come into the house, and we don't know who that was. It's not clear from the videos who that was. It does not appear to me to have been Mr. Arbery, but I don't know. This is not very clear. It was all at night. And as a result, he had this camera there, and anytime the camera operated, it was motion activated. So it would operate, and he would get a little alert on his phone. And Mr. English was 90 miles away at where he currently lives. He was outside. He was working with bees. He handles bees and honey, and he had honey on his hands, and he got the alert, so he didn't even look at it right away. And when he gets the alert, the company has immediately sent him the footage, and so it was in his phone, and it was probably 20 minutes before he could even stop and wash his hands and clean up. At that point, he looked at the video and saw that it appeared to be someone was in the house that's under construction, and he telephoned the neighbor who's a couple of streets down, who is not the neighbor whose video has been out showing from across the street, not that neighbor, and also was not the McMichaels, because he had not spoken with the McMichaels and did not know them at that point. But he called the neighbor down the street and said, "Hey, I got a video alert that somebody's in my house. Do I need to call the police?" And the neighbor told him. He said, "Well, he's dead. He's been killed." And that's the first he heard of Mr. Arbery, because he didn't know him, didn't know who the person was, and at that point did not know if the person in the video was the person who had been killed, because they looked somewhat different. And when he first saw photos afterwards, he said, I don't think that's the man on the video, but he was told that it was. So.
And from this video, the construction site looks rather bare. Has Mr. English said if anything was taken from the property?
He said absolutely nothing has ever been taken from the property. When he initially did months ago, back in October, first contact local law enforcement through the non-emergency number to say, hey, someone's been coming onto my property. And like I said, we don't know who that was. He did not characterize it as a burglary or a robbery or in any way, shape, or form as any kind of crime actually having taken place, certainly not a felony, because nothing ever was taken. And even if something had been, though, I will say Mr. English has been very clear that he would never have wanted anything like this to happen, that even if some property was damaged or taken or stolen, all he would want is for the police to be called and for the police to deal with it. He would never want deadly force used to protect property. He's been very clear about that. He's been very distressed at what happened, and that somehow he and his family are being pulled into it by people suggesting that it was a result of this video or some other video from his home or anything that ever happened at his home, because he was not involved in this, and this video could not have been the instigating factor for what happened.
And you just briefly touched on it, but what has life been like for the English family in the past few days?
It has been really, really hard. First of all, Mr. English, he's suffering from some pretty severe health problems. And the reason that they purchased this home was to renovate it and move in. It was a bucket list type thing for him. And he had hoped to go and be there and be in peace and spend his time that he has fishing and doing that kind of thing. And he's never even moved in, and they may not move into the house at this point because they've encountered a lot of hostility. Understandably, the victim here is Mr. Arbery, and Mr. English will be the first to tell you that. And but still, as a result of what the McMichaels did, and as a result of them not being arrested for more than 2 months, there's a lot of anger, and that anger is being directed not only at the McMichaels, who are the instigators of this, and also at whoever took that other video during the actual shooting, but people are starting to turn that anger on the English family because it appears to, from what the McMichaels said, that they were somehow involved, but they were not. They didn't ask for the McMichaels to do this. They didn't know the McMichaels. They never would have asked for any of this to happen. And they are deeply sorry for the pain that the Arbery's are suffering as a result of what the McMichaels did.
And just want to underscore 2 points that you made, just to confirm. Nothing was taken from the property, and also the McMichaels had no idea of this video, that it even existed prior to the shooting.
Nothing was ever taken from the property, and as far as we know, the McMichaels could not have known about the video because my client did not even see the video until after Mr. Arbery had been killed. So for the McMichaels to have known about this video, they would have had to have had a direct link from the security company and intercepted it before my client even saw it.
All right, Elizabeth Graddy, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.